Lara King in the morning.
Side. Have you ever heard of something called wassailing? Well, a Hull orchard is keen to revive the tradition. We can find out more with Yvette Grindley. Yvette is the organiser of a wassailing event at Pickering Road Community Orchard in West Hull. Morning to you, Yvette.
Good morning, Lara.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Great, thank you. Thanks so much for coming in. So, wassailing, am I saying it right?
That's right.
What is it?
It's a very, very old Anglo-Saxon celebration, and it dates back probably more than 800 years. And wassailing actually means good health, because it's wassail.
Ah, right. And is it a way of waking up the trees?
That's right.
I love that.
It is, because during the winter the trees go to sleep, and afterwards we want to say thank you to the trees for everything that you've given us, and we give them back something that they've given us. And so we actually go to the orchard and pour mulled cider over the roots, and then instead of nailing the toast to the trees, we actually place the toast in the trees. I know that it said nailing in the whole Daily Mail. Yeah. I think you misheard me.
So you don't nail a poor tree. You don't want to be nailed to it. But why a bit of toast?
It's just the toast is actually for the robins, which are the guardians of the orchard. Uh-huh. And they look after everything. They pick up all the grubs that are in the soil, and then we light a fire and make a row with drums and things, and that scares away all the nasty spirits, all the bad evil spirits, which is the disease in the trees. And obviously they used to believe that years ago, and now we just see it's a bit of fun, really.
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
I
really do. I love it. So do a few of you get together then and dance and sing and have a real good time?
Yes, we have the Raving May Morris side, which are actually attached to Pickering Road Community Orchard. They consider that their home. Mm-hmm. And this is conducted up and down the country. It's mainly in the West Country, like Hereford, Somerset, places like that. It's a really big deal. And we used to do it regularly in this area when we had orchards before the war. In fact, Gordon Hazel, who's our treasurer, he's in his 80s, and he remembers his grandfather taking him to Eton to an orchard for a wassail when he was very young. So we did used to do it.
Yeah.
And so we've revived it because we think it's very important. People are always saying, what is it to be British? What is it to be English? And a friend of mine said, I know, why don't we start wassailing again? I said, what's wassailing? And he had to explain it all to me, and that's it. I picked up the baton and ran with it.
You certainly did. It sounds wonderful. Tell us a bit about your orchard.
The orchard, it was planted in 2003-2004 in 2 stages, because there's 350 trees over 2 acres, and we have 26 varieties. This includes some pear and some damson, but not many. And we have a mixture of dessert apples and cooking apples and cider apples. For instance, in the cider apples we have Court of Wick, which is dating back to the 1700s, and Pitmaston pineapple and Ribston pippin, which is a Yorkshire variety.
Oh, wow.
And last year we bought a fruit press, and that was the best investment ever.
Was it?
It's fabulous. The juice we get from that, we haven't made cider with it yet, but we press the apples that are actually the windfalls, so we mix them all up, chop them up, put them in the fruit press, and drink the fruit juice that comes out. And we actually sell it for £1 a litre on the open days that we have, and it's the sweetest fruit juice I've ever tasted in my life.
Oh, how lovely. How nice.
We kind of get about 10 tonnes of apples these days, because now the orchard is actually mature. It matured last year, and so we're hoping that this year we'll get around about 12, maybe 14 tonnes of apples.
Gosh, that's a lot of apples.
It certainly is. We can't manage, to be honest, because there aren't enough volunteers, and we're always wanting more volunteers. So if you'd like to come and help us between August and November with the harvest, we'll be more than happy to see you.
And can't people just come along and take the apples? If they pay £2 a year or something, do they?
That's right. Because we have to get some funds in order to maintain the orchard, we ask people for a minimum of £2 a year to become a friend of the orchard and sponsor it. And for that, you actually get £5 of apples or 2 kilos in new money. And you can pick with whatever is actually in season at that time. For instance, in August we have 3 varieties like Beauty of Bath, George Cave and Red Sleeves, and they are very, very sweet apples, but because they're an August variety they don't last very long, so you need to pick them straight from the tree and eat them.
There's nothing like picking an apple from a tree and eating it. It's lovely.
Nothing like it at all. I thought I knew what apples tasted like until we got this orchard, and then they started to fruit, and they all taste completely different. And luckily, we now have beehives at the orchard, and they help to pollinate all of the trees. So we do get crops every single year, and we also have the hives give us 50 jars of honey per year.
Do they?
And they've encouraged me to eat honey because I don't like honey.
Oh, don't you?
No.
Why are they encouraging you? Do you like your honey?
I like our honey. It's absolutely lovely.
Yeah.
And so that's a real find, as well as all the rest of it.
So when does the wassailing take place?
It takes place around 12th night in January, the old 12th night. So that's anywhere between the 6th of January and about the 17th of January. So if you miss one wassail, you can always go to another one nearby. So there's always something to do.
Yeah, it's great to hear it, and I hope we do get some more volunteers, because it's a lovely thing to have, isn't it? In West Hull.
Oh, it certainly is.
An orchard, a little gem, really, I should imagine.
Well, in just a couple of months' time, we've got our May Day celebrations coming up. That's on the 1st of May, and we'll be open from 12:30 dinner time till 3 p.m. in the afternoon, and the apple blossom is something to see when all the trees are in blossom. It's absolutely lovely, and we'll have the Raving May Morris side dancing for us there.
They are great. I think it was the Raving Mays that I met at Race for Life in Hull.
Yes,
I'm sure it was them. They're fabulous. Morris dancers from Hessel, aren't they?
Yes,
that's right. Yeah, so they're really good, aren't they? So, and that's a May Day celebration, is it?
It is.
Oh,
and we're trying to organise schools and colleges to come and see us, because it's very useful. It's a very useful tool for them with maths, science, English, everything really.
Yeah.
And also learning where your food comes from.
Yeah, it's important, isn't it?
Very important.
I bet you only ever eat an English apple, don't you?
Yes, I do not buy apples from supermarkets.
Don't you?
No. I'd rather do without. What I do, in order to maintain my apple diet, is I make crumbles, put them in the freezer.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yes.
Oh, something like a crumble. Yvette, it's been great to have you here. Thank you.
Thanks so
much for coming on and telling us all about wassailing. It's a great thing, it really is. Thank you.
Okay.
That's Yvette Grindley. Yvette is, the organiser of the wassailing event, which was, last month. It's at Pickering Road Community Orchard in West Hull, and they always need more volunteers if you want to go down and help out. On the text then, Amy says, "Morning, Lara. I can thoroughly recommend the May Day at the Orchard." This is the Orchard in Hull, the West Hull Orchard. As a good family day out, she says, "Do bring your dancing wellies. Last year there was a maypole and much fun watching everyone join in." Oh, it can all get a bit messy, can't it, around the maypole? Thank you, Amy, for that text.